Hello, hello. Welcome back to Jay's Fish. Today we're going to be talking about the average working man's tank. So what I mean by the average working man's tank is that you're busy. You don't have time to really maintain a perfectly pristine tank. I have lots of plants in this, I have a pretty good filtration. But the thing is, I work full time and I'm working graveyard shift. So that's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it drives me crazy. I'm sleeping during the day and I barely see my fish in my fish tank. So I had to figure out a tank and pretty much set it up to where it's fully functional, where I don't really need to worry about it too much, where the water is gonna muddy up and the parameters are gonna get super bad. So before this tank, I originally had an 80-gallon bow front that was gonna be here, but it had a leak on the bottom. So I've been a little lazy about fixing it up, and I ended up putting a 20-gallon long here. And it doesn't really fill up the space that the 80-gallon was supposed to. You know, there's a lot of gaps, but this works out really perfect for what I want right now. So in this tank, I have all these fast-growing plants, these jungle vallisneria. Yes, they don't pull from the water column, but they help filter the water slightly and help the parameters remain stable. And then there is algae on the plants. I don't really mind that too much. It just means that I have a healthy enough tank where algae can grow. I can always turn down the light, or either power down the light strength, or not run the light for as long. I believe in over-filtering your fish tank. So I have this hang on the back filter right here. It has sponges, biofilm, oh my goodness, not biofilm, bio rings. And I think it has like an ammonia packet to help with the ammonia. But what I mean by over filtering is using plants and aquatic plants, like being fully submerged, in house plants. These house plants, oh my goodness, these are my favorite. So this is in soil, but it's in water. I don't know what plant this is, but this one died and now it's coming back pretty good. There is this one. This is getting some long leaves, new sprouts on the top. So I gotta transplant that one. But the ones that I have fully submerged in water is this white knight plant. White knights, the leaves are half the green leaf and a half straight white. So I'm really excited about this one. This one has been growing. I place these in the filter. As they grow, they should be okay. Or you can place them just directly into the water. And then I have this red run that wasn't doing so well. A lot of the leaves died off, but as you can see, a lot of new growth is coming out, and I'm excited to see how this plant is going to transform into this tank. And then of course I have some duckweed along the tank. I scooped some out and moved it along my other new tanks, so there isn't that much, but always duckweed in the tanks. Any floater is always super helpful. I have tried to grow dwarf water lettuce, red root floaters, frog bit. Everything has died. It has been a pain in the butt to grow. So right now I am only growing duckweed because duckweed is the only floater that I can be growing right now. But I did order some red root floaters online, so I'm gonna be trying to grow those out. A lot of fish in this 20-gallon long, they are going to be moved into the 80-gallon bow front once I fix that thing up. But so right now all these fish are relatively small enough to be in this tank. Yes, when they're full grown, they shouldn't be in a 20-gallon long. I shouldn't have a full school of cories that I'm growing out in a 20 long. They should be in a way bigger tank. They appreciate the water volume, and you honestly see it when they're schooling around, swimming around, going in and out of the water flow. It's super cool to see. And honestly, cory cats are one of my favorite fish to keep, and they're honestly probably going to be, if I got rid of all my fish, cory cats are going to be the only fish I would be keeping. But I also have these neons that I'm growing out. They are doing good. I got these when they were super small, literally right when they become sellable like size, maybe like few months old. And then yeah, a guy ended up shipping them, got them, and I'm growing them out. So I'm going to be breeding them and doing a breeding series. But in the back there are some Congo tetras, which I'm super excited about. I'm gonna be filling out the school. There's about 5 of them. I want to get a few more. They get about 3 inches long, so definitely a 20 long is not really suitable for them. But they are super beautiful with the long finnage. They get orange and blue with the silver body. They are amazing. So because I just got them, they are a little bit skittish. They haven't gotten used to me like the other fish. But once they get used to me messing around in the tank and all that, they'll be coming along the front of the glass. And then lastly, I have this lone molly. So for some reason, this molly has the black molly and gold molly genes in it. She's produced all black mollies, even some gold dust mollies, the all black with some gold in the chest area. But I just have her in here. I don't have another mate. Her mate died, unfortunately, and then I ended up trading in all the other mollies to get some other fish and other new plants and all that. So I need to get her a mate and do a molly breeding video and all that, because she is super lonely, but she's doing bits on the algae. She eats some of the algae. I feed them pretty heavy with the heavy protein foods, just because I want these guys to all grow really healthy. Like I fed this tank maybe half an hour ago with some bloodworms, and they scarfed through this thing. There is none here. And that's a full cube. 30 minutes gone. They ate the entire thing. With this fish tank, I can leave and not touch this. No water top-offs, no water changes, and letting the plants and allowing the bacteria and all the microorganisms in the tank to naturally break down all the waste and stabilize the parameters. I can leave it for a week. I can leave it for 2 weeks if I really want to, if I'm really busy. I mean, it's not suggested to leave your fish tank for 2 weeks, especially if you don't have the experience and knowledge of maintaining and balancing an ecosystem and keeping all your fish healthy and happy. That's the key thing, is healthy and happy. I have tons of plants in there to help me filter everything. The filter, the contents of the filter itself have been cycling already for months already. I haven't had a fish die in this tank in a very long time. I want to say maybe like a couple tetras, neon tetras, and that's with anything. Tetras are like super finicky, especially if you don't get a good line with good genetics. They could be really finicky. But keep maintaining and balancing an ecosystem to allow yourself to not touch this for a week, 2 weeks. You're pushing it with 3, 4. Definitely pushing it. I wouldn't suggest that unless you really know what you're doing and you have tested the water beforehand when you were doing this before. You went a month and you're testing it weekly. and especially on that 3 to 4 month range, you're testing it daily just to see where your parameters are at, and to see if you can push it to that limit, to see what you can do for your working man, your average working man fish tank. Even though on YouTube you see all these really pristine, these super beautiful, like you can tell they put so much time, effort, care into building this tank. They do maintenance on it. They have the time to do that, unfortunately, and most of the time, a lot of people, they're busy. Life gets in the way. They're not doing fish YouTube for a living, so they don't have the time. I'm doing fish YouTube and fish keeping as a hobby, so it comes secondary, especially to work, to family events, hanging out with friends. You know, I gotta have a social life every now and then. So having a tank like this where you can leave it and it's still super healthy. Things are growing, plants are growing, fish are growing. I don't feed this tank every day. That also helps with parameters, I should probably note. But I feed it, I try to feed it every day, but at least every other day. That helps with the water parameters, but I just want to show and film that you can have a tank like this, a decent looking planted tank, and it'll be fine. And just for context, I have been fish keeping for a while now, and I usually have the time weekly to at least devote a day of my week to maintaining and cleaning up all my fish tanks. But I'm an adult now. I'm dealing with adult responsibilities, so it's kind of hard to maintain all the balances. So this tank is to show that it's possible to have a nice planted tank. All these plants are going to be growing in. I have all this jungle val that's growing in, and I'm just showing everyone that a planted tank with some nice fish, tons of schooling fish, it's as long as you have an ecosystem, it could work. That does it for this video. This is the one, I don't usually film my living room fish tank just because I have other people in the house that I'm mindful for, and I don't want to say, hey, you got to be quiet while I film this. So this is my one and only video about this fish tank. Next time you guys see this fish tank, it will be an 80-gallon bow front. I promise I'll stop being lazy and I will fix that leak on the bottom. And I will turn that, I will do a full build video. I'll turn it super beautiful. There'll be tons of fish. And you know what? Like, comment, and subscribe. And then turn on that notification so you can see that video. So you'll be notified when that video drops and you can see that build video. But that does it for that. That does it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.